I don't know who she thinks she is, but I do think it might be someone with real power, and it shouldn't be. She wanted her own Hail to the Chief song, and it happened. It's called Fanfare for the First Lady. It's a terrible song. Listen to a little bit of this.
Hillary Clinton thought she was walking into a calm political chat. Then Megyn Kelly showed up and turned it into a full-on demolition derby. No mercy, no pause, just pure chaos wrapped in sharp one-liners. The way Megyn dismantled her was so unexpected, you'd swear it was scripted. But here's the kicker. What exactly did Hillary say that opened the floodgates to this savage takedown? Stick around, because the twist in this clash will leave your jaw hanging.
Hillary Clinton has a very weird and I think shitty marriage. I don't think she has a husband who is in love with her or faithful to her. And I think I can't really blame him, because she seems to have accepted this behavior since the inception of their marriage. And so past his prologue, you're going to get what you tolerate. You know, what you permit, you promote. She spent all of her daughter's upbringing away, at work, at the law firm, in the White House, running for office. And Chelsea Clinton is not a nice person.
Hillary Clinton has spent decades trying to convince America that she's the smartest person in every room. But when Megyn Kelly stepped up, it was like watching a cat toy with a very confused mouse. Hillary came in with her usual confidence, calculated smiles, carefully chosen phrases, and that eternal sense that she deserves to be crowned Queen of America. Except this time, Megyn Kelly wasn't playing along. She didn't bring flowers, she brought a bulldozer.
Chelsea Clinton, because her mother Hillary, for some reason, thought it would be moving, a good idea, a good PR move, for her to on camera read the acceptance speech she was going to give in 2016, the night she never was able to let down the balloons and the fireworks. And it's part of a masterclass, I guess, educational video on the topic of resilience. And here's a little soundbite of that.
The clash was so brutal, you could almost hear Hillary's political resume tearing itself into confetti. She tried to lean on her old tricks, the same smirk she wore during debates, the same been there, done that tone she uses whenever she's caught with her foot in her mouth. But Megyn? Oh, Megyn dismantled those tricks faster than a toddler with a Lego tower. It wasn't just a takedown, it was a full-on comedy roast disguised as journalism.
And I think really is just sort of getting along based on the family name at this point. And so now she's got a daughter who I guess married a rich guy but is struggling in her own right. Hillary's in a loveless marriage. She probably doesn't have a lot of real friends, just people who are glommers. And so she absolutely does have to write a fifth memoir and go on MSNBC and be told that she's amazing and that she matters.
Let's be honest. Hillary has been waiting years for her redemption arc. She wanted a big comeback moment, the kind of grand re-entry that makes the world whisper, she's still got it. Instead, she walked into Megyn Kelly's verbal boxing ring and got turned into a meme before the opening bell. The way Megyn cut through Hillary's talking points was like slicing through overcooked steak. Tough, chewy, but ultimately no match for a sharp enough knife.
Should be in jail. Literally, Hillary Clinton should be behind bars. And so should the people who worked for her who did this. This is so blatantly corrupt. She wanted to distract from her email scandal. She cooked up a plan to accuse Trump of being a Russian agent in order to distract from her own legitimate scandal. She made up a scandal about Trump being a Russian asset.
Hillary tried to project authority, but authority only works if people are still buying the act. And Megyn wasn't buying a single thing. She stripped away the polish, exposing what Hillary has always been. A politician still convinced she's the star of a show everyone else stopped watching years ago. The crowd didn't see wisdom. They saw a woman clinging to relevance like it was a life raft. And Megyn, smiling with that icy confidence, popped the raft and watched Hillary sink. The magic of this moment wasn't just the destruction itself, but how effortless Megyn made it look. Hillary worked up her usual storm, dramatic hand gestures, smug half-laughs, that air of, I know better than you peasants. Hillary has built her career on the idea that she's untouchable. Decades of speeches, campaigns, and carefully managed media appearances, all designed to create an aura of inevitability. Yet here she was, undone in minutes by Megyn Kelly, who didn't even break a sweat. Hillary wasn't facing an amateur. She was facing a woman who has taken on billionaires, politicians, and media giants, and left them all walking away with their tails between their legs.
It's a very different ballgame today than it was even 4 years ago, never mind 8 or 10 years ago when she was doing all this. And back to Hillary, you know, the whole, she has a hat she's tweeted herself out wearing, but her emails. She's tried to turn it into this ridiculous joke, like, oh, but the moon landing, like you nutcases who are still railing about this made up scandal, this thing that, you know, you've used to try to unfairly tar me. She did need to distract from that email scandal.
It wasn't just that Hillary was wrong, it was that she looked lost. Every time she tried to pivot, Megyn slammed the door. Every time she reached for her usual "I'm the victim" card, Megyn shredded it before she could even play it. It was less of a debate and more of an exorcism. Megyn was expelling the ghost of Hillary's political career right in front of everyone. And by the end, the only thing Hillary had left was that frozen smile that screams, "Please stop filming this." Now, you'd think someone like Hillary, with all her years in the spotlight, would have learned how to handle tough questions. But she hasn't. She's been coddled, protected, and propped up for so long that the second someone actually pushed back, she crumbled like week old cake. It was a relic, desperately trying to matter. The irony is delicious. Hillary spent years painting herself as the voice of reason, the one who could handle crises with calm authority. Yet here she was, unraveling at the speed of light because Megyn Kelly dared to call her out. It was like watching someone who claims to be an expert swimmer panic in the kiddie pool. All splash, no grace.
Law with that homebrew server that had been accessed by foreign agents. She compromised national intelligence information. She did things she would never have allowed anybody at the State Department to do under her. And that leads me back to Schellenberger here. This is page 4 of his report. He says, he writes as follows: the Russian reports, again, that the Dutch spied on, that we got our hands on, also claimed, and listen to this. I mean, you probably already know this stuff, Glenn, but claimed that Attorney General Loretta Lynch, okay, this is back in 16, people, remember, Obama's president. Loretta Lynch is his Attorney General. And her DOJ/FBI are investigating the Hillary Clinton email scandal.
What made the whole spectacle even funnier was Hillary's reaction. She tried to mask the panic, but her body language betrayed her. The stiff shoulders, the awkward chuckles, the nervous darting eyes. It was political theater collapsing into slapstick comedy. Megyn didn't just challenge her, she turned Hillary into her own punchline. And once the audience saw the cracks, there was no unseeing them. It was the political equivalent of watching someone brag about being invincible and then slipping on a banana peel. The fall wasn't just embarrassing, it was hilarious. Hillary wanted respect, but what she got was the kind of humiliation that sticks forever. It was cringe comedy at its finest, like a magician who accidentally sets their hat on fire but keeps bowing as if the trick went perfectly. Hillary didn't just lose, she lost in slow motion with everyone watching. Megyn Kelly, on the other hand, walked away from the whole thing looking sharper than ever. This wasn't just a win, it was a coronation.
Going up to her and sitting down next to her, taking her in my arms and saying, "Look at me, listen to me. You will survive. You will have a good family of your own and 3 children. And as hard as it might be to imagine, your daughter will grow up and become the President of the United States. I am as sure of this as anything I have ever known. America is the greatest country in the world."
She reminded everyone why she's one of the most formidable voices in media. While Hillary was flailing, Megyn was calm, composed, and ruthless. She didn't just defeat Hillary, she dismantled the mythology that Hillary still matters. And that's the real destruction. Not just winning the exchange, but erasing the illusion that Hillary Clinton is still a force to be reckoned with. Think about it. Hillary has spent decades trying to convince people she's inevitable, unstoppable, destined for greatness. And yet, one sharp exchange with Megyn Kelly reduced her to a footnote. This wasn't the grand comeback Hillary wanted, it was the encore nobody asked for. Instead of proving her relevance, she proved exactly why people moved on. Megyn Kelly didn't just roast her, she reminded the world that Hillary's time is up. And let's not pretend this was unexpected. Hillary's downfall has always been the same: arrogance. She assumes she can outsmart, outlast, or outtalk anyone. But arrogance only works if you're actually untouchable. Against Megyn Kelly, that arrogance looked ridiculous. It was like bringing a plastic sword to a gunfight. Hillary swung and swung, but every blow landed on herself. By the end, it wasn't even a contest. Hillary looked exhausted, deflated, almost cartoonish in her defeat.
Is it over? Is she done? I'm so uncomfortable.
I don't know about you, but that speech makes me, I relive that same night that Trump got elected, man. It makes me feel so good when I hear that.
I'm, the kids say cringe. It's very cringy, the whole thing. And why, of all time, right, like for 4 years and beyond, we were always saying she's like a nice woman. She never expresses emotion. She had like.
Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly looked like she could have gone another 10 rounds without breaking a nail. That's the contrast. One woman clinging to the ghosts of past campaigns, the other standing tall, sharp, and relevant. Hillary walked away with bruises. Megyn walked away with headlines. And maybe that's the real humiliation. Hillary didn't just lose the exchange, she lost the narrative. She wanted to remind people why she mattered. Instead, she reminded them why she doesn't. Megyn Kelly didn't just destroy Hillary's arguments. That's the legacy of this clash. Hillary thought she was writing her comeback story. Instead, she became the punchline in Megyn Kelly's highlight reel. And deep down, you know Hillary knows it. That's why the smile looked so forced, why the laughter sounded so hollow. She wasn't laughing with anyone. She was laughing at the ruins. Megyn Kelly proved that some myths need to be shattered. Hillary Clinton was a myth. The myth of inevitability, the myth of untouchability, the myth that she was always the smartest in the room.
Act 2, speaking of Hillary, her op-ed, which is really pretty spectacular in the New York Times. First of all, my team just showed me this. Have you seen the cover for her new book? It's something lost, something gained. Gained is with a Freudian slip. And I like the amount of retouching on this face I haven't seen since, Joan Rivers had her 15th surgery. God love Joan. I don't know what she's trying to be with this soft focus. My executive producer, Steve Krakauer, is like, she looks nothing like herself.
Megyn destroyed that myth in real time. And now, Hillary isn't a towering figure. She's a cautionary tale. A reminder that arrogance without substance is just a slow-motion disaster waiting to happen. So if Hillary thought this was her moment, she was right, just not in the way she hoped. This was her moment to be humbled, mocked, and dismantled. Megyn Kelly didn't just win a debate, she staged a public unmasking. She showed the world that behind the polished facade is a woman who can't handle the truth when it's thrown right in her face. And maybe that's the most hilarious part of all. Hillary Clinton spent her life chasing power, and yet one encounter with Megyn Kelly left her powerless. That's not just destruction, that's poetic justice. Hillary left that exchange looking like someone who had accidentally wandered into the wrong decade. And Megyn Kelly made sure everyone saw the costume for what it was. This wasn't the queen returning to reclaim her throne. This was a has-been crashing her own retirement party.
Hillary Clinton decided to drop an op-ed in the New York Times today that's entitled, "How Much Dumber Will This Get?" And she uses Signalgate and the messaging by Pete Hegseth and Mike Walls and JD Vance and Tulsi and others on there as the jumping off point to talk about how dumb the Trump administration is. Some highlights. She calls the Trump administration hypocritical, dangerous, and dumb over this story. "It's not the hypocrisy that bothers me, it's the stupidity. We're all shocked."
The funniest part? Hillary still believes she's entitled to applause. She genuinely thinks her presence alone should command respect, as though the world owes her endless admiration. But Megyn wasn't handing out participation trophies. She put Hillary in her place so cleanly it almost looked choreographed. Hillary strutted in like a headliner, but Megyn reduced her to the opening act everyone forgets before the main show. And here's the kicker. Hillary actually thought she could spin this in her favor. The smirks, the awkward jokes, the desperate attempts to shift the focus, all of it fell flat. She was trying to do damage control in real time, but Megyn cut her off at every corner. The more Hillary squirmed, the more obvious it became that she was out of her depth. Watching her try to wriggle away from Megyn's precision strikes was like watching someone wrestle a greased pig. Messy, hopeless, and funny for all the wrong reasons. Megyn didn't just win the moment, she reshaped the perception. Instead of the seasoned veteran towering over a younger rival, Hillary looked like the retired athlete who refuses to admit the game has passed her by.
And they banked on the intel agencies working with her to perpetuate this lie, and it appears they were only too happy to assist. That's what this scandal's about. Pieces of it we knew. New pieces are coming in by the day thanks to these declassifications. And it's downright shocking. Do not believe that there's no there. The people who are saying that are wrong. They're wrong. What just broke today, like moments before we came to air, we're still getting our arms around it, was obviously provided to Michael Schellenberger before 2 minutes ago.
And Megyn? She was flawless, calm, commanding, almost amused. She didn't just challenge Hillary's words, she dismantled the persona. Every polished phrase Hillary tossed out sounded weaker when it bounced off Megyn's cool confidence. It was a masterclass in exposure, showing how quickly the illusion of power collapses when someone refuses to play along. Hillary wasn't sparring with a friendly interviewer. She was up against someone who thrives on cutting through spin, and she had no defense. By the end, Hillary's only strategy was to cling to dignity, but even that slipped away. And that's the true humiliation. Losing a debate is one thing. Becoming irrelevant in front of everyone is another. Hillary didn't just lose the clash with Megyn Kelly, she lost her last illusion of being untouchable. What's left is a career defined not by victories, but by spectacular, unforgettable defeats. And Megyn just delivered the latest and perhaps funniest one yet.